Hello everyone, I am back with you today with a fresh smartwatch review. I'm not entirely sure what model number this one is, but whatever it is, I'll flash it up on the screen right now. So I want to show you what comes out of the box, and I will say I typically order these smartwatches because they either are the continuation in a series of smartwatches I've already reviewed, or they have some new feature sets in them. And I have to say in the last 18 months, a lot of smartwatches don't seem to have new features, so things might be slowing down here a little bit. This channel is primarily about kayaking, but I do smartwatch and health tech reviews to keep the channel afloat and generate a little bit of revenue, and I usually invest that revenue right back into the channel to bring you more smartwatches. So let's see, the app here is going to be H-band. The user manual looks pretty good, and you will see that it has like a micro health physical examination. You can do phone calls, Bluetooth calling from the watch when tethered via Bluetooth, heart rate, ECG, body composition, blood pressure, blood oxygen, body temperature, the weather, sports modes, and I don't know if this one might do blood glucose allegedly or not, but you get the watch, you get the manual, you get a magnetic charger, and let's see if there is any life in this thing out of the box. Always peel off the plastic protective covers to make sure these sensors come in contact with your skin. Interesting. Okay, so let me press and hold, see if anything comes alive here. It does. English, app code. So I'm going to go ahead, charge this fully, and then wear it for several days, and then come back with my full, fair, and honest review, which will seem to you like just a couple seconds through the magic of editing. Alright, let's go through the features of this watch, but first of all, happy Thanksgiving, everybody in America. It's Thanksgiving evening. So I'm going to press the button on the top right to make the watch face come to life. I'm going to adjust the screen brightness settings here. I'm going to set that all the way up to make it easier to see for this review. And screen on time, I'm going to maximize that, and I don't even know what the maximum number is. I usually turn it down 60 seconds, so it'll stay on for a minute before it turns off. I usually set that to the minimum while I'm wearing these to preserve battery life. And actually, let's do the opposite right here. Let's set this to 3 seconds, and I'm going to show you while I'm here the always on display. You can turn always on display on, and you've got a digital or an analog watch face. So now after a few seconds here, you'll see the screen dim and then go dark, and it's hard to see it, but there is a analog clock there in the background. Let's switch that to digital, and maybe that will be a little bit easier to see yet. And yeah, there you can see it more clearly on the camera here. So this does have an always on display, and I have used that, and it's really nice. I've used that during the day so I don't have to press a button, but typically I turn that off at night because I'm sleeping and I'm not going to read it anyways. So to get to that screen, we were at the main screen, we swipe down. Let's go back into those settings and turn the screen on time now all the way up to 60 seconds so it doesn't keep turning off during this review. You can choose different watch faces, and there's plenty more in the H-band app. Alright, obviously the one that I was using is the one I like the most, so let me go back to that. You can also just press and hold it for a couple seconds and then swipe through the screens. Continuing on, you have your battery life. You can turn it on and off. You can link it with your phone via Bluetooth, low energy. You can change your menu style. There's a flashlight here that turns all the pixels on to let you see in the dark. Again, it's model ET588. And a couple other things here. Voice assistant, it's got a calculator built in, and you can turn it off or do an SOS, which would call whatever number you have set up. as your SOS number. If we swipe up from the bottom, here's where you get your messages. It'll pull these in, messages and notifications. When you have BLE set up with your phone and you're connected, it will push your SMS messages or any other notifications you want from the apps on your phone. I've tested that. That works fine. Let's go through the screens now. So let's swipe. Here's a really cool feature, and it's a health glance feature. So you press one button and it will take multiple measurements that gives you insights into your kind of fitness and well-being. And I'm going to say more about that as this review continues, but this is not a medical device, so don't trust this as legit valid health data, because it is not. If manufacturers aren't going to make any claims of accuracy, I certainly am not either. But there you see your heart rate, your blood pressure, blood oxygen, stress level, and body temperature. So it's measuring your skin temperature and coming back with an estimate of body temperature, or calculating body temperature, all right? So that was this first screen. We scroll again, you can get to your phone. Again, when connected via Bluetooth Low Energy, you can make and take calls right from the watch. That works. You have to be tethered and you have to be within Bluetooth range of your phone. It's got a built-in microphone and speaker. Here is your activity summary chart, your number of steps for the day, your estimated kilocalorie burn, and your estimated miles walked. Keep scrolling, there is your sleep from the night before. Scroll again, you have your heart rate, and you can set this up to do continuous heart rate, or you can tap it and it will do it on demand. It will do an EKG or an ECG. You would press the button here and hold the finger on your other hand on the sensor here, and it will do an EKG. And let me do one in real time here so you can see it. Again, not a medical device, don't treat it as such. But you will see over time your EKG will clean up and become sort of a normal looking thing. This isn't going to be great since I'm talking and, you know, stressed a little bit because I'm in the middle of a review for the internet. But you get the drift. It'll do an EKG measurement. Here is your blood pressure, 121/87. My blood pressure always is on the high side of normal. So I think this is pretty much in line with being accurate, but I, again, make no claims of accuracy, not a medical device. If you want a blood pressure measurement, go see a real doctor. Don't trust these wrist devices. SpO2, or blood oxygen saturation, this uses the red diode for that. This has both red and green diodes. Body composition, very similar. You would press that button and then hold your finger on the sensor on the side here, and it will come back. I'll show you what it comes back with. And this takes, several seconds. I'm going to say maybe 15 or 20 seconds. You see the progress bar there on the bottom. Here's your body mass index, body fat percentage, muscle mass percentage, subcutaneous fat. That's high for me, I know that for sure. Body water, skeletal muscle, bone mass, protein percentage, basal metabolic rate. Should you trust all this? Of course not. This is a $50 Chinese smartwatch, but it is really cool that it takes this measurement. Here is a blood glucose measurement. And again, just the same caveat, I'm going to say it again and again and again. This is not a medical device. Don't trust your health to these numbers, but this does have the blood glucose feature. Swipe again and you get into your activity modes, and it's got plenty of them in here. Many, many, many activities. And then swipe again. Here's your heart rate variability. And then let's swipe again, and you have this electrodermal analysis, all right? So let's press that button, and now it's applying some slight current to my skin. It's got two electrodes on the back of it, and it will come back, and I don't know exactly how it's generating these numbers or what it's doing here, but it is pretty cool that it comes back with some numbers. This will take a couple more seconds here. This does not have a progress bar. I like the animation on the screen. That's pretty cool. And when this finishes, I'll feel a small vibration on my wrist as well. Okay, there you go. So there is skin hydration, my emotion level. This is telling me I'm stable right now, which that is somewhat of a shock and a surprise. Cortisol levels. It says I'm in the green normal zone here. Sympathetic nervous system, depression risk, it says it's low for me. So it's somehow applying some voltage to your skin and generating all these numbers. Here it will do blood composition. Now, again, this is not pulling blood. This is not a finger prick. This is not a medical device. It's not a valid medical measurement. But I think it's really cool that the technology in these smartwatches is getting closer and closer to getting to something with it. Someday somebody might get one FDA approved. They're not there yet. But there's my uric acid. There's my total cholesterol number. There's my triglycerides. There's my HDLs, or high density lipoproteins, and my LDLs, or low density lipoproteins. Very cool stuff for a smartwatch. And that's the end of that menu right there. If I swipe the other way, this is a little shortcut menu that will get me to my phone. It's got a timer, countdown timer, stopwatch, and you can control the music on your phone from your wrist, this watch, when you're connected via Bluetooth low energy. So tons of features in here. I'm going to spin the watch around, then show you the app, and then come back with my final thoughts and opinions. All right, so let's just take a brief spin around this watch. Again, that beautiful display. You have your action button on the top here where you press to make the screen come to life. And you've got the electrode sensor here on the side. This is where you would press your finger for those measurements that I demonstrated. Here are the two electrodes on the back. You've got red and green diodes in here along with the white diode. Spin it around and you can see the microphone and speaker here. Very beautiful smartwatch, I believe. I've been wearing this longer than most of the ones I test just because I like this one so much, and I love the data that it gives me. If we press that button twice, we can get to our workout mode, our heart rate, blood oxygen saturation, activities, sleep, EKG. It's basically a different way to get through all those measurements: blood pressure, blood glucose, blood composition, body comp, MET, heart rate variability, health glance, emotion, fatigue, that electrodermal measurement. It's got some breath training, phone, notifications, music, 28-day cycle tracking. You can use this as a remote trigger for your phone, shutter trigger for your phone, camera on your phone. It can pull on weather from your phone when tethered via Bluetooth, so you get your high and your low temperature for the day with a forecast. All right, so that's all pretty cool. There's that stopwatch, there's that timer. You can set various alarms. There's that torch or flashlight feature. Find your phone, voice assistant, it's got that as well, calculator. It's got a couple games in here, and then you can get into those settings. Same as we did at the beginning, but from, at the beginning we swipe down. This smartwatch we can put into 12 or 24 hour modes. And here you can actually set the date and time right from the watch itself. You don't necessarily have to sync it with your phone to pull that in. So this is one of those few smartwatches where you can set the time and date right on the watch. Let's go look at the app. The app here is called H-Band, and I've reviewed this app many times before. I like it a lot. It's very intuitive. It's easy to read. It's easy to interpret. There you see the watch there, the ET588. It gives me my activity summary for the day, my steps, my sleep in there. You can go into more here, and you can get into some measurements via the shortcut next to on the same line with the watch. But here are your steps for the day, for today now. I can look at yesterday as well. I can look at 2 days ago. So you can do it that way, or you can scroll back through a calendar. There's my sleep from last night. Gives me my deep sleep, my light sleep, and awake times. There's my heart rate track over time. There are my blood pressure measurements. All right, my last, and you can see mine kind of drifting up and down a bit over time. Here is one of the EKG measurements that I took. And if I just click on that, it will restart or replay this EKG that I took earlier this evening. Let me pause that. Gives me my heart rate zone, and it tells you sort of the reference range and where you are in that range, your QT interval. If you don't know what that is, go study up, but it's a heart indicator. and HRV, or heart rate variability. Again, it gives you a reference range here. And then it plots some chart as to whether you're at some sort of cardiac risk or fatigue, mental stress, or whatever, arterial sclerosis, coronary artery risk. Again, this is not a medical device. Don't treat it as such. But sinus arrhythmia, premature atrial contractions, and I don't even know what this is. Trigeminy? I have no idea. Never heard that term before at all. Some smart viewer out there is going to tell us in the comments what that actually is. Blood oxygen, HRV, body temperature trace. There's that blood glucose trace. And again, here you can scroll back over previous days at the top here, or you can click on the calendar and choose what day you want to look at, confirm, and there's that glucose trace for that day. You can turn automatic glucose monitoring on or off. It gives you your maximum, your minimum, and your average values. And here you see all the individual measurements it's taken for me every half hour. All pretty cool. Here are those blood components. There's my uric acid profile. And if I go into the lipid panel here, there's my total cholesterol, triglycerides, HDLs, LDLs. And again, very cool. This is for reference only. I think it's extremely interesting to watch and track. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Here is that body comp measurement, and this will break it down even more. Body fat percentage, BMI, lean body mass, muscle mass, body water, sub-Q fat, skeletal muscle, bone mass, basal metabolic rate, and your protein percentage. So really amazing type stuff you get from this. You can get into your workouts here. It's got several in here that you can track, but it's not a GPS watch, so you would have to pair this with the watch, all right, and then have your location settings turned on your phone to get your trace to pull in. But in the absence of that, here's a strength training workout I did, where it gives you your time engaged in that activity, your average heart rate, a number of pauses, and you can see your heart rate trace over the course of that workout and your kilocalorie burn per minute. And here's a walk I took, same information, so it's all pretty cool. And then you can go into your settings here and manage permissions. This is a common question I get asked: where would you turn on notifications and messages and whatnot? That's all here in the settings. You can set a step goal, a sleep goal. You can change your units from imperial to Celsius or metric. And that's about it. I love the app, comprehensive. I've reviewed it many, many times. It's one of my favorites. So there you have it. It's the ET588 Smartwatch. I wore this one, as I mentioned, much longer than I usually do to test one before I do a review, just because I like it so much and I've not wanted to take this one off my wrist. Now, this one is selling on Banggood right now for about 50 bucks. I call it an incredible value. This is probably in my top 5 smartwatches that I've ever reviewed. I highly recommend it. You get a lot for your money with this one. It's waterproof. And yeah, I'll drop a link below. You can go read the full description. Come check me out at davethekayaker.com. Give this video a like, a thumbs up, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And I've got a playlist on my YouTube channel just for my fitness tracker and smartwatch reviews. I know I've done over 200 of these reviews at this point. I've got 3 more coming up over the next month and a half. That's the only reason I'm taking this one off my wrist tonight, is to put the next one on. But I'm going to keep this one nearby because I have a hunch this one's going to go back on the wrist. But this channel and my website is primarily about kayaking and fitness and training. And, you know, I do these smartwatch reviews just as a way to monetize this site and my channel. So, like, I appreciate you spreading the word or sticking around and watching this or sharing this channel with others. Again, check me out at davethekayaker.com. And until next time, be healthy, stay safe, stay fit, and stay tuned because more smartwatch reviews are coming soon.